Hello and welcome. I'm Amritanshu Rai and you're watching Laws in the Making on Raj Sabha TV. Today we bring to you the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2017. The bill proposes to grant a one-time retrospective recognition to certain government institutions that are conducting teacher education courses without the NCTE's permission. To discuss the issue, I have with me Ms. Saroj Sharma, Professor and Founder Dean, University School of Education, and Professor N.K. Ambasht, former Chairman, National Institute of Open Schooling, NIOS. But before we get into a discussion, let's have a look at what all is there in this proposed legislation. There is an urgent need to recruit trained teachers to meet the obligation of providing free and compulsory education to all children under the Right to Education law. But the government has not been able to meet the shortfall which exists relating to availability of trained teachers. In order to ensure availability of trained teachers, the government proposes to make amendments to the National Council for Teacher Education (NCTE) law. The bill proposes to grant a one-time retrospective recognition to certain government institutions that are conducting teacher education courses without the NCTE's permission. This will make several teachers available for government recruitment who currently do not qualify.
The government has been finding ways to ensure availability of trained teachers to educate children, which is now mandatory. In order to do this, the government proposes the National Council for Teacher Education (NCTE) Amendment Bill 2017. According to the bill, students who have passed or are currently pursuing non-NCTE recognized teacher education course in universities till the academic session 2017 to 2018 may become eligible to become teachers. More than 1,000 institutes are offering training to teachers in Bachelor in Education (B.Ed) and Diploma in Education (D.Ed) courses.
NCTE has the mandate to recognize teacher education institutions, and for that it lays down regulations and the infrastructure, the quality that is needed, the norms and standards that is laid down by the NCTE. And it also does some research work in the field of teacher education, and they have published many books which are based on research in teacher education. And they also lay down the norms, the qualifications for the teachers at every level, elementary levels, secondary level, senior secondary level, and at school education only they do it, not for higher education. So at school level they lay down the norms for teachers. So for example, at the elementary level, now DL-Ed is compulsory. All teachers have to be DL-Ed after 12th. And for secondary and senior secondary, they have to be B.Ed.
National Council for Teacher Education (NCTE) Amendment Bill 2017 allows retrospective recognition to be given as a one-time measure to ensure that the future of the students who had passed out from the colleges or are enrolled currently is not jeopardized. The bill seeks to grant retrospective recognition to institutions notified by the central government, funded by the central government or state union territory government, which do not have recognition under the Act and which must have offered teacher education courses on or after the establishment of the NCTE until the academic year 2017 to 2018. The bill also seeks to grant retrospective permission to start a new course or training in teacher education to institutions notified by the central government, funded by the central government or state union territory government, which have satisfied certain conditions required for the conduct of a new course or training in teacher education, and which must have offered teacher education courses on or after the establishment of the NCTE until the academic year 2017 to 2018.
NCTE ने गाइडलाइन दिया है संबंधित विश्वविद्यालय को कि वो एक इंटरव्यू के प्रोसेस के थ्रू इस तरह के सारे स्टाफ को सेलेक्ट करे और उसकी एक फ़ाइल इंस्टीट्यूशन को दे और वो फाइल वापस NCTE में सबमिट हो, जिस पे एक कई सदस्यों की कमेटी NCTE की बनती है और वो फिर पुनर्विचार करते हैं कि क्या वो सिलेक्शन जो हुए हैं एक इंस्टीट्यूशन के द्वारा और संबंधित विश्वविद्यालय के द्वारा वो उस मानक को पूरा करते हैं कि नहीं।
The National Council for Teacher Education Act 1993 was enacted to provide for the establishment of a National Council for Teacher Education with a view to achieving planned and coordinated development of the teacher education system throughout the country. The Act mandated the Council to lay down guidelines in respect of minimum qualifications for a person to be employed as a teacher in schools or in recognized institutions so as to ensure quality of teachers and thereby teaching in schools uniformly across the country. Regulations had framed by the Council which were binding on all state governments in the matter of appointment of school teachers. The bill was introduced by the Minister of Human Resource Development, Mr. Prakash Javadekar, in Lok Sabha on 18 December 2017. With Amritanshu Rai, Nishtha Malhotra for Rajya Sabha TV.
So the government nearly needs to recruit or have 66 lakh teachers all across India, over 66 lakh teachers. With this one small little move, the government plans to bring into its fold and make eligible nearly 6,000 teachers who have the qualification but their institutions do not have the recognition from NCTE. And that's why this is a one-time retrospective change amendment that is being proposed by the government. So what is wrong if the government wants to really meet the needs of getting teachers into the fold, because there's a huge shortfall of number of teachers, and especially when right to education was made a fundamental right till the age of 14. So if the government is making these changes to include and bring into fold more teachers, where do you see an issue?
I think this is a very right move, in the sense that we are having qualified teachers coming out of fairly reliable institutions, which are government funded institutions, institution itself, universities which are established by act of law. They have come, but somehow or the other the NCTE Act did not provide for their recognition retrospectively. NCTE is a very recent phenomena as compared to the teacher education history in the entire country itself. So if you look at the old teachers, they are not recognized by NCTE, but the fact remains that they are teachers, they are good teachers, they have been teaching, and all that kind of thing. So this is a number one. This is a move to give recognition to those teachers who have come out of the reliable institutions. Number two, there is a great backlog and we need to have trained teachers as per the Right to Compulsory Education Act. Number three, there are already teachers in position, but they do not have DLED or BEd, etc. required qualifications. So NIOS was endowed with the responsibility of having online courses, and SWAYAM platforms and other things have been put into, I would say, fast forward mode to catch up with this backlog. The result is that only in NIOS DLED program, more than 13 lakh teachers are registered and they are going to take examinations. So this amendment to NCTE Act is a sort of clearing the backlog.
Yeah.
This is only part of it. The other part is the distance mode, gearing of the distance mode of for the people who are in position teaching, but they don't have that qualification.
Right.
So this is a move which is worth commendation.
I'll just come to you, sir. Ma'am, on the you just pointing out that the total number of students that are there who are likely to benefit and who the government can tap into once this bill is passed. Yes. So what is the kind of institution and what is the issue there, sir?
Backdrop of this issue is that a few years back, NCTE has norms and regulations. Few years back, some of the institutions were taking for the granted these norms and regulation. They were not recognized by NCT. They were not into process of recognition. In our country, norms are there, standards are there, but we try excuses to make faults of these, take for the granted these norms, and such institutions were flourishing. What happens? Students are not aware of these kind of systems. Students are not aware of these kind of loopholes. I have come to know that around 6,000 students are being affected because of not recognitions of their institutions, their courses. So, as Professor Ambash said, that NIOS is going to train through MOOC, through Swayam Prabha. Around more than 14 lakh teachers are being trained through Swayam Prabha. In line of that, as you said, there is a dearth of teachers. So, who is going to make these teachers, these teacher training institutions? So, there should be a good number of teacher educators also, teacher education institutions also. So, to meet that need, to bring quality teachers, and also system is there, people are there, things are going on under the nose of government, under the nose of council, and they are not coming into the system. So, to bring them in the mainstream, this initiative was needed, and as per line of NIRF, National Institutional Ranking Framework, we assess quality of any institution. That time these kind of loopholes were come into light, and to cater the need of good trained teachers and also bring them into mainstream, this initiative was taken by the government, and I think it is very good initiative.
Ma'am, Professor Ambas was just stating right now that one of the criticisms of this bill is that if the government or the institutions that have been notified, I mean have been mentioned in this bill, are largely government and state government backed or union territory backed or funded or sponsored.
Yes.
But what he says that why, if this can be done for the public sector,
yes,
I mean colleges, why not the private sector? That will increase the pool of number of teachers coming in. What is the problem? Why is the government consciously avoiding that?
See,
that is the point you need to
quality assurance and maintaining quality is utmost priority of this government. I mentioned NIRF, NAC is there for quality assurance, UGC is doing a lot of things, and recently I have heard that government is making a commission under which HERA or something, it is in process. It will come into light, but all these agencies will come under this one agency. So, quality, for the quality, it is very much needed to put a mark, draw a line. But I am not clear about private or these kind of things. As far as my information is, only 3 institutions had applied to NCTE. NCTE has given a notice to these institutions that you can come into mainline within 15 days, between 15th of March to 31st of March, and only 3 institutions come forward, and incidentally these three were government institution. So, they are if they come into light and they the students are not affected, students are coming into fore, and teachers requirement, as Professor Ramesh also said, that we direly need good teachers. So, because they do not have any fault.
I get. Ma'am, Professor Ambas, would you like to add there?
Yeah, the major, I mean, hitch in extending this back one-time
retrospective
to private institutions is of varied kind of standards that they have been maintaining, and it is a common matter of common knowledge. There are dubious practices, not by all, but by some institution, which is bringing a bad fish in the pond, is bringing that kind of situation. So, I think that quality varies from very poor to very good. Some of the institutions run by Ramakrishna Mission, or for that matter very established societies do maintain the quality. There is no doubt about it. But then there are some where the student is absentee student and he takes a degree.
Right, Professor. So the point you're trying to make is that it is essentially the quality control.
That's right.
For which NCTE is responsible, and this one-time retrospective recognition that the government is trying to give is to get in teachers, and it wants reliable teachers, not teachers who come from doubtful background.
That's right.
Is that the attempt of the bill, ma'am?
Initially what we do, we just break the norms and then we go to court. There are certain legal issues. Why to be in that kind of malpractices? Why the wastage of effort? Why the wastage of money? If students have already passed out these courses, why not take their capability in
And,
the mainstream?
bring them.
Education system should
It's time for
take
us
their
to head
benefit.
into a break. When we come back, we will tell you about the lack of qualification among elementary teachers in states. Welcome back. In order to make teachers available, the government has proposed the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2017 also. The bill proposes to give the state governments time till 2019 March to ensure teachers recruited to impart elementary education attain the required qualification. The existing law had provided a deadline till 2015, which could not be achieved by state governments. As of now, the state governments are trying to implement free education with the help of teachers, many of who do not meet the qualification level prescribed in law.
The Right to Education Law of 2009 specified that teachers at the elementary level who did not have minimum qualification as mentioned under the law should attain it by 31st of March 2015. But since there are not enough qualified teachers, several states have been implementing the law of proving free education by recruiting teachers even who do not meet the requirement criteria. According to the data of the state governments, of the 66.41 lakh teachers recruited at elementary level, 11 lakh do not have the required qualification. In order to ensure that all teachers recruited till 31st March 2015 acquire the minimum qualification, the proposed amendment extends the period for such training for 4 years up to 31st March 2019.
Teacher training institutions should be graded upon some parameters and facilities provided by the teacher training institutions. And if they are not following the standards and norms, they should be banned and banned to improve or otherwise to shut down.
The minimum qualification for primary level teachers as prescribed by the National Council for Teachers Education NCTE is Senior Secondary School Certificate or Intermediate or its equivalent and diploma or certificate in basic teachers training of a duration of not less than 2 years or a degree in Bachelor of Elementary Education. The minimum qualification for upper primary level teachers as prescribed by NCTE is Senior Secondary School Certificate or Intermediate or its equivalent and diploma or certificate in elementary teachers training of a duration of not less than 2 years of Bachelor of Elementary Education or graduate with Bachelor of Education or its equivalent.
Basically, the NCTE is responsible for pre-service as well as in-service courses. So, as far as pre-service is concerned, that can be controlled with the help of bill. But as far as in-service is concerned, for the in-service training, we don't have any controlling, measuring, any initiative is being taken by the NCTE. So, this is a very important thing. How can you control the teachers training in being conducted in various states all over India? So, this is also also a very important issue because of which the education level of India is getting down.
The bill will enable the in-service untrained elementary teachers to complete their training. It will also ensure that all teachers at the elementary level in the country have a certain minimum standard of qualifications. The Right to Education law provides for rational deployment of teachers by ensuring that the specified pupil-teacher ratio is maintained for each school, rather than just as an average for the state or district or block. This, according to the law, is likely to ensure there is no urban-rural imbalance in teacher postings. Law also provides for prohibition of deployment of teachers for non-educational work other than census, election to local authority, state legislatures and parliament, and disaster relief. It provides for appointment of appropriately trained teachers with the requisite entry and academic qualifications. With Amritanshu Rai, Nishtha Malhotra for Rajya Sabha TV.
So the attempt of the government is to somehow clear the backlog and get enough trained, qualified, recruited teachers to fulfill the assurance by the government to the people that right to education is a fundamental right. Quickly to you, sir, there's also a grey area as to the job profile of NCTE and UGC. So both of them are doing some common role. There's an overlap of roles.
As far as the universities and the government institutions are concerned, universities fall within the purview of the UGC, and teacher education component within the university is a grey area where NCTE and UGC have overlapping jurisdictions, I would say. So there is need for either, sorting this out, and one would either UGC takes over the full responsibility of the quality and the courses in conjunction with informal consultation with NCTE, or teacher education is taken out of the purview of the UGC, which is not, I think, which is not an advisable thing. There should be some kind of a commonality, as Saroj said in the morning. There is a overarching HERA is being considered, and these kinds of grey areas between AICT, UGC, NCTE and
will be rationalized.
Will be rationalized.
Ma'am, on the quality control, there's a grey area too. And how do you think is it going to be resolved?
I will point out your word. You said somehow government is taking. This somehow is being catered very efficiently by NIOS. Actually, more than 14 lakh teachers are into in-service. You showed the clip that one academician was saying that there should be done something for in-service teachers. So, through Swayam Prabha, more than 14 lakh teachers are being trained efficiently and effectively. Mobile app is there, video recordings are there, and through MOOC and through Swayam Prabha, online they are being trained. NCTE and NIOS are doing very good job in this thing. NCTE has given recognition for 18 months for this particular course, and the need, because they cannot come, they should not come on the roads, because they are into earning their bread and butter, and because of legal issues, because of many other which have been done in earlier few years back or earlier period, these teachers should not be suffer, and to bring quality.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll stop you there. That's all we have time for. So just trying to wrap up. So the government is attempting to get the whole thing together so that the teachers can be got on board. Yes. That's the time we have for this discussion. It's time for us to end the show. You can watch our shows on the RSTV page of YouTube. We'll be back with a new episode and a new issue. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV.